Hello everybody, Cooper here, and welcome to a brand new series. That's not really a brand new series, but it's brand new for AFL 26. It is the rebuilding every AFL team until they win a premiership. I hope you're all doing very, very well. We did a decent job of this last year. We got through, I think, probably 50% of the teams, which, I mean, that's a pass mark in most schools nowadays. But we're going to go through and we're just going to have a bit of a fun time. We're going to go and put all of these sliders in. We're going to make it as hard as possible with the contract negotiation and the trade difficulty. In terms of the match difficulty, I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing the grand final of any particular game that we do because that is the only game that we are going to play. The rest of the games are going to be simulated because I don't have the time to play every single game to get all of the teams done. I'm going to play 10-minute quarters. Injuries, I'm going to stick on reduced for now. Custom license will be off, and the Brownlow votes will have just leave it on for now as well. And in terms of the sides that we will be selecting, I am going to be doing this in alphabetical order. So the Crows will be first, followed by Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, etc. The Crows, they're actually doing very well in real life, I will say, and it will be strictly an AFL rebuild. I'm not going to do the AFLW or the SANFL. Mainly because time and effort, and I think you guys are most interested in seeing the AFL side anyway. Now, because we're doing this in kind of like a time limit, not necessarily a time limit, but we're trying to get this done as quickly as possible. The one thing that I am going to edit with, I guess, the quality of coaching and scouting is what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the State League scouts to 1-star and pump the under 18s to 5-star. That way we'll know exactly who's doing well in the under 18s, of course, but also any players that we can have a look at down the line. Now, in terms of the memberships and merchandising, I'm actually going to leave those two portions the same. The community days, however, I will be pumping up to the max just so we can generate a bit more fan interest. Obviously, with the membership pricing, if we need a bit of help raising funds, we'll look at that for Season 2. But strictly Season 1, it's going to be a wash. We're not really going to count it towards the cause, because realistically, I wouldn't have done anything to make the Crows win a premiership. It would have been just the previous regime's work. And my objective for this year, I'm just going to go with the mid-tier gold, which is just win 10 games. Just under half of our games. If we can get that done, I think we're going to be just fine. Now, in terms of the contract situation, I'm just going to basically leave everybody's contract until the end of the season. We're going to meet you guys at the end of the end of the regular season. If we have a finals game, we'll go over that whenever we need to. And also, if we have a mid-season draft pick, I will stop at the mid-season draft and we'll do a thing there. But this sort of first season is not important. We're going to pick things up in the 2025 off-season. We have reached the end of the regular season, and we actually finished in the top 8. I was about to say the top 10, but the top 8. We were really, really good in the opening half of the season. We're actually unbeaten going into Gather Round, and then whoever we played in Gather Round, I can't remember who it was. I believe they beat us, but then the back end of the season, injuries just piled up, and we really, really struggled, unfortunately. But we're going to be playing the Gold Coast Suns in a elimination final up on the Gold Coast. Carlton had a really, really good season. The Swans were good. The Bulldogs were good. Freo also good, but Port Adelaide, bottom of the ladder. It's what we like to see. Obviously, we're going from a Crows point of view. Obviously, I'm also doing a series on Port Adelaide at the moment, so trying to keep that in the back of my mind as well. We're just going to repeat last week's training. We currently have 6 injuries which we have to deal with, so Dowling is going to come out. Lockie Murphy can come in, that's fine. Is anybody coming back from injury? I know, obviously, Tex and Ben Keys are injured. Mark Keane can come back in, that is fine. He can sit in a back pocket. But without further ado, it's time to get through the finals. Here we go. Can we beat the Suns? We lose, unfortunately. So that is the end of our first season. Jordan Dawson is actually best on, but we do not get past the first round of finals, unfortunately, and we have a few more injuries which we need to deal with. But objectives-wise, we did really, really well this season. We won the 10 home and away games, which was great. We beat one team from the top 6 last year, but we couldn't beat 3 teams from the top 4, which would have been the big one, unfortunately. But also throughout the season, if we have a look at our facilities, I was also able to upgrade our medical facility. So hopefully going into Season 2, that will help things out a little bit. I'm actually just going to quickly repair that for 26 grand. Just something that we need to keep an eye on going into the rest of the series. But now that the season is over, we need to see who won the Premiership. Who was it this year that was victorious? It was Freo, for God's sake. They beat Gold Coast in a prelim. The Doggies beat Hawthorn in the other prelim. Absolutely belted them, actually. And they win in the end by 12 points in a pretty evenly contested grand final. Looks like Freo dominated the ball. Andy Brayshaw kicked a couple of goals. 170 on the AFL Fantasy. I dare say he's going to win the Norm Smith. And yes, I was correct. So, Freo finally get a premiership 30 years after they enter the AFL. What a great story for them. I mean, I'm not going to get too excited about Freo, to be honest, because this series, not really about... Well, this video, I should say, not really about Freo. It is about us. Jed Walter leads or won the Coleman, at least, at the end of the finals period. I can see that Riley Thilthorpe led the goal kicking for us. We'll have a look at the end of season awards shortly, but we'll just have a quick scout at these statistics for us, because I know just by going through all the games, Thilthorpe obviously kicked a lot of goals. He missed one game with a dislocated finger, I know that for sure. Rory Laird's actually finished second in the Coleman, the leading goal kicking for us. Crouch was third, Fogarty, Rankin, Rochelle. Sid Draper had a very, very good first season. Jordan Dawson was very good. Ben Keys was also terrific. Tex Walker had a few injury concerns, but still popped up and provided a bit of a presence. But as you can see, a pretty even goal kicking load this year. Tom Liberatore finishes the season as the Brownlow medalist, joins his dad. That would be the first father and son combination to win a Brownlow, I'm pretty sure. If so, that is very, very cool. Mabior Chol actually won the Coleman in the end with 44 goals, a little bit of a low tally, obviously just going in the simulation. And Sid Draper, South Australia's own, won the Rising Star Award. And the All-Australian team, I can't see any Crows. Actually, Darcy Fogarty made it on a half-forward flank. Nobody else, it looks like. So Darcy Fogarty, the only All-Australian for the Crows, and I believe that's a first timer for him, so congratulations. But now it's time to get into the nuts and bolts of the video, and this is the most fun part. This is why you're all here. You want to see me rebuild the Crows, and we're going to be doing that in the next few minutes. So we need to now have a look at our contract situation. We currently have 11 players without contracts. We need to have a look and see who they are. If I can go to the right tab, where am I going? Okay, so we've got a few options here. We've got, in terms of our week in, week out starting players, we've got Crouch, we've got Tex, and we've got Riley O'Brien as our ruckman. Now, they're probably the priority here. Obviously, there's, is it Hugh Bond, I think it is, Gallagher, Brodie Smith, obviously been on the Crows for a long time, and Lockie Murphy, who is also out of contract, didn't play a lot for us this year. So we just have to see where we go. I'm probably going to re-sign Riley O'Brien first, mainly because he is our number one ruck, and I really only want to give him a 3-year deal because he is a bit on the older side. I think he's 28, which is actually sort of prime years for a ruckman. But at the end of this deal, we're actually going to give him 4 years. He will be 32 years of age. We're going to lowball him first just to see what he's after. He's after 375 grand a season, which is actually lower than we're paying him this year, which is actually very, very nice. So we're going to offer him that, and he has re-signed. I will quickly double check that we are on the right settings because, to be perfectly honest, I haven't changed them. And yes, we are still on the hardest settings. Whoop, I do not want to exit. So just to keep an eye on that, we are still on the hardest settings. Matt Crouch was our highest Brownlow vote getter this year. A bit older now. Obviously, Tex is still he's been old for quite a few years, actually. So depending on who's the priority here, Tex or Matt Crouch. I feel like we need to sign Tex, even though he did get a few injuries this year. Depending on how much he's asking for, $826,000 from last year is a bit of a concern, but I feel like everybody will get very upset with me if I don't re-sign him. I feel like we can leverage Matt Crouch in a trade. He may want to go back to Victoria, I'm assuming his brother is now living in Victoria now that he's retired. So I think we're going to give Tex a 1-year deal. I don't know how much he's asking for. 691,000. That is semi-reasonable for a player who kicked 21 goals last year, but has provided a lot to the club. Former captain, obviously. We're going to bring him back on a 1-year deal if he will accept. Tex wants more years on the contract, which is not ideal. I'm going to bring this down to 600,000 and now on 684. I don't really want to give him 2 years. Okay, we'll leave Tex for now, and I think we'll leave everybody else for now as well. Let's have a look at league-wide free agency, see who's available. We could... I mean, what do we really need? We need another ruckman, I know that, as a backup. We also need key defenders, because we did have a few injuries back there at certain times this year. So who realistically is a decent option? As we'll go for the rucks first. I know the Crows were heavily linked with Sid Draper prior to his injury, whether or not they would still be in the hunt for him, but I feel like he would be a decent backup ruckman, so just depending on how much he's asking for. Tom de Koning obviously would be fantastic, but I don't think he would be interested in coming to Adelaide. Sam Day is from Adelaide. We could potentially go in that direction, and as is Callum Coleman-Jones as well, but I know he's a Port supporter, so I doubt he would want to sign with the Crows. So I think probably the most realistic one here would be Sam Draper. Did I say Sid Draper? I can't remember. But we're going to sign him to 2 years. Obviously, he's coming off the Achilles. Let's see if he will accept. He's not going to accept that, but he wants 313. We'll round it up to 315 because I like sort of nice round numbers. And hopefully, he will accept that 2-year deal. And he is now Crow. And we're also going to put in a bid for Sam Day as well. We're going to take him off of the Brisbane Lions' hands. We're going to offer him a 1-year deal worth $175,000 a year, and he has now joined the Adelaide Crows. And in terms of the key defenders, I know one player that the Crows have been linked with is Leek Alia. I know that he is currently out of favour with the Giants, but if we go further down the list, we'll see who else is here. There's Dane Rampy, who... I think he's quite content on the Swans, to be perfectly honest. There's Lockie Jones. But it's a pretty quiet class, actually, for key defenders. So I think we're going to have a go at Leek Alia. We'll probably offer him a 2-year deal. He actually got delisted by GWS. So we'll go for 2 years, see if he can be signed up. $225,000 a season. That is perfectly fine. Welcome to the Adelaide Crows. Yes, he is. We've gone back for our own free agent here in Brodie Smith. We're going to offer him a 2-year deal, $320,000 a season, which he has accepted. Very, very good. Nice to have him back. Obviously been on the Crows for a long time. Now, in terms of our other free agents, I know Burgess we are going to let go. That is fine. Tex Walker, I would like to keep him, but I don't want to give him 2 years. Matt Crouch, I will probably trade, even though he was very good last year. Lockie Murphy will probably also let go, and the others I'm just happy to delist. So in terms of bringing free agents in, we've got Sam Day, Sam Draper, and Leek Alia. Let's hit the trade market. And before we've even done a trade ourselves, we can see that Oscar Allen has signed with St Kilda. West Coast have received pick 26 in compensation. Callum Archie has signed with the West Coast Eagles. Brisbane have received pick 31. West Coast are just losing free agents left, right, and centre. Apparently, Jack Petruccelli has gone to the Bombers. West Coast are getting pick 42. Ed Richards has signed with Hawthorn. The Bulldogs are getting pick 20. And Starcevic from Brisbane has gone to North Melbourne. Brisbane, I should say, are getting pick 43. But here's when it gets interesting. Jace Burgoyne has been traded by Port Adelaide to the Bulldogs for pick 17. Geelong have traded Ollie Dempsey to Carlton, I should say, for pick 57 and pick 14. Mitch Lewis has been traded to Brisbane to fill the Joe Danaher role for pick 29. And Josh Weddle and pick 59 have been traded to Collingwood for pick 32 and pick 11 to Hawthorn. So as you can see, just off of first impressions, we can actually see what's going on league-wide compared to last year, because previously we had to go to this sort of screen here and we could sort of see what was happening, but we couldn't actually see entirely what was happening, if that makes sense. But in terms of trades, I feel like we've patched up our ruck situation. We could probably go for one more key defender, and I just also would want to build around Obviously, our midfield, we've got obviously Jordan Dawson, who is very, very good. We've got Ben Keys, who's actually had quite a few injuries last year. We've got Sid Draper, who's young and up and coming. So if we can get a few more bits and pieces in there, I would like to see what we can do. And I've got a few players in mind. Let's have a sniff around and see what we can come up with. The first player that I'm going to have a look at on the trade market is Kozzy Pickett. Now, I think or if we actually go just under 900,000, I think that would be a decent offer. We'll go 875. If we can get that done, he only wants 902. So hopefully we can get him done, and then we can work out a trade with Melbourne, and he has accepted, which is lovely. Let's see if we can get a trade done. He is South Australian, although he has been linked to a move probably to Freo, I imagine that would be, because I know there was a talk about a Luke Jackson, Kozzy Pickett straight swap. Now, I don't know how strong the trade difficulty is this year. Obviously, I'm doing it on hardest, which was where I had it last year for all of my rebuilds. And I think Matt Crouch is going to be a good fit here. He is Victorian, and Melbourne, depending if they want to get rid of Clayton Oliver or Petrarca, could probably use a bit of strength in their midfield. I'm assuming a straight swap won't do it, so I'm happy to throw in my first round pick. I think that is very much fair. They say it's significantly less than what they are asking for. Now, what else would they want? Probably another draft pick, I would imagine, but I don't really want to. Maybe a Lockie Murphy, who's also a free agent. Didn't really play him a lot, and I believe he is also Victorian. I'm trying to retain a lot of my South Australian players, so I'm not just going to be trading out players left, right, and centre. Maybe Lockie Murphy will get it done, and possibly, I'm trying to have a look down my list here. Okay, we're in a little bit of trouble here. I'm trying to find someone who I would want to give away, because there's not really anybody I want to give away that I think Melbourne would be interested in. I don't really want to give away my second round pick this year, so I might have to give away my second for next year. Hopefully this will get it done. They're still a fair way off, which is a little bit concerning. I'm going to have to play around with this, and we'll come back to it. We've taken Lockie Murphy out of the deal now. I've included my future first round pick for next year, but I've also requested pick 3, or their third round pick, which is pick 44 overall, and a future third from Melbourne. They still think we're a fair way off. What if we take out this year's third round pick? Still no good. What if we take out the future third? I feel like I'm getting shafted here. I know I'm on the hardest difficulty, but this is getting a little silly. But Kozzy Pickett is a phenomenal player. Very, very versatile. Now that we're close, they want something a little bit more than Lockie Murphy. Okay. Who do we give away that they would be interested in? Chase Jones. He's Tasmanian. Melbourne's relatively close to Tasmania compared to Adelaide. That could be an option. Lockie Scholl could be an option. He sort of played a little bit for us last year. Would throwing in Charlie Edwards get it done? I know he is a younger player, but does have a bit of potential to grow. But I feel like we're also throwing in a little bit too much if we were including him. So Crouch, pick 12, a future first, and Charlie Edwards for Kozzy Pickett. I feel like I would need to get something back in terms of a draft pick. So we'll go for that third round pick once again. Hopefully they take this deal, and they do. Kozzy Pickett is now a member of the Adelaide Crows. Took a little bit to get done. Obviously, Crouch is a bit of an older player. Charlie Edwards, a very, very young player with a lot of potential and 2 picks. Hopefully, if we're very, very good next year, we will be decent enough to avoid giving away a very early draft pick. But we get pick 44 back in the deal. Welcome, Kozzy Pickett. I want to get some more draft capital in this year's draft. So I'm going to be sending Lockie Murphy to Geelong for pick 51 in this year's draft. They say we're close to an agreement. If we throw in pick 4, pick 73, that should be able to get it done, you would think. They're still close. Pick 50, pick 91. I'm just chucking in late picks at this point. No good. So they want maybe pick 57 will get it done. Hopefully that will be okay. It is. So we just picked the wrong third round pick there. We moved 6 picks back. Lockie Murphy is now a member of Geelong. I'm going to revisit the Tex Walker offer. We're going to offer him the 2 years that he does want, because to be perfectly honest, I don't really want to lose him, and we've got the cap space to afford it. So we're going to front load the deal, be $698,000 for next year, 671 for 2027. He's all signed up. Welcome back, Tex Walker. Not that you really went anywhere. Now, in terms of our contract expiry, we've still got Burgess, Gallagher, and Bond to deal with, and we've got 5 spots still open on the list, and we've got a few draft picks as well, which we can play around with. Let's just pick a random team, just so I can have a look at what we do have. So we've got pick 33, 44, 55. That was a complete accident. 57, 73, and then we get into the later stuff as well. So if we can trade, maybe try and bundle 73, 57, and 55 to get a bit higher up in the draft, that would be fantastic. Or we could try and package them together to try and get another good senior player. I'll have to have a look around, see what we can do. Proposing a deal with the Gold Coast Suns. We're just going to chuck in all of our late picks, rounds 10 through to 7, for pick 76, which is in the 4th round. They are absolutely ecstatic with that. I don't know why they would be, because those picks generally go unused, but hopefully we can snag a bit of a bargain down at pick 76. I'm now going to be bundling a whole bunch of 3rd round picks in this year's draft for a future 2nd round pick from the Bombers. They say it's no good, but if we can maybe get this year's 2nd round pick, which is pick 40, we're moving up 4 spots and then giving up a future 3rd as well. Would they say yes to this? They do. So that is very, very good. I think our trade business is done here. If we have a quick final look at our draft picks for this year's draft, we've got 33, 40, 73, 76, 91, and 109. I don't think those last 2 will get used, but hopefully we can get a couple of decent players early in the 2nd round. But I think our trade business and free agency business this year was pretty good. We've got 5 roster spots free, ton of money left in the salary cap. We've got about $1.3 million to spend. So if there's a free agent possibly next season, if we don't win the Premiership, we can definitely go and spend that money. Are there any other deals that have been done? Those are just our deals. So let's move a little bit further forward. We've been proposed a trade here from Melbourne for Hinge. Is it Mitchell Hinge? I believe it is. Pick 21 and pick 63. I'm going to say no to that. I'd rather keep him, to be perfectly honest. A few other trades have been done outside of us. Looks like Jack Buckley's been traded to Port in exchange for 62 and 17. Ryan Gardner has been traded by the Bulldogs to Geelong for pick 28. Kay Chandler has moved to Essendon for pick 23. Jack Bowes and pick 51 have gone to the Eagles for pick 5 and pick 66. And Connor McDonald has been traded to the Suns along with a future 3rd round pick in exchange for pick 36 and pick 15. We're officially done in the trade/free agency period. Let's go to the national draft. Port Adelaide have the first pick. Who are they going to select? They take W. Marks. We'll have to have a look at his stuff in the future, but let's just skip forward to us, see what we can do in the draft. We've been pushed back all the way to pick 32. I'm assuming that's just got to do with free agency compensation and the like. Now, I'm not really going to be drafting for potential here. Obviously, if we can get a good player with good potential, that will be one thing. But I think what we're going to do is look for best player available. And I can see here we've got Finley Henderson, who looks like a big piece of beef, 200 centimeter key defender out of, I believe, I actually don't know who he's in the State League somewhere in Victoria, but I don't know. He's a key defender anyway. And there's also Jake Sutar here, who hasn't played any footy at any level. He's a little bit better, has a little bit less potential, but I think he's going to be the player that we do draft. We do need another key defender, so welcome to the club, Jake Sutar. I'm actually going to take a mature age player here in, I think it's Darcy Tucker, I believe it is, who used to play for North Melbourne. And there's Darcy Tucker, 28 years of age, 78 overall. I think he can do a job for us. Seems a little high to be taking him, but to be honest, there wasn't anybody that I was really interested. So we're just going to be taking mature age prospects from here on out. Our final pick of the draft will be pick 52. I've had a look at the suggested players before. There's nobody there that I'm really interested in. So we may go mature age here again. Is there anybody? We've already drafted Tucker. In terms of overall, we can have a look at, we've got a few players here. We've got Mr. Murdoch, who Milan Murdoch used to play for Geelong. And we've also got I was going to say Elle McPherson, but it's Ewan McPherson, who used to play for the Bulldogs. They're both all same overall, same potential, but McPherson's a little younger. So we're going to be drafting here, and our work in the national draft is done. We've still got the rookie draft. Let's keep going. And I've just noticed, I went into my inbox because I had a few messages. There were a few late trades that I hadn't gone over yet. Matt Rao's been traded to Melbourne for pick 48, and pick 48 for pick 2. Wangeline Millera from St Kilda has been traded to Melbourne for a future first round pick and pick 23. So I dare say that would have been our future first if I had to guess. And then Jai Newcomb has been traded to the Eagles for a future first round pick and an unused draft pick. So I feel like Hawthorn got absolutely shafted there, and Ben Keys is back from injury, which is lovely. We've only got the 2 players to select in the rookie draft. I'm really, as I said, just going for best player available here or best option. So if we just go overall, we've got 2 76ers that we had a look at earlier. We're now getting into the 75s. Is that Jonty Scharenberg, who used to play for Collingwood? Because if so, yep, he plays in South Australia. He used to play for Glenelg. He still plays for Glenelg. We're going to draft him. That makes the most sense. Former top 5 draft pick, I believe. And then he did his knee a couple of times. Didn't really work out for him. I think we should go with a bit of a younger player here. I think that is the thing to do. We haven't drafted a small forward yet, and I like the look of Annabelle here, who looks like he used to play for Brisbane's VFL team. Had a good season last year, kicked more behinds than goals, which is a little bit of a concern, but we're going to draft him anyway. Seems to be a decent player, and our work in the off-season is now done. It's now time to go over our next season's, basically, coaching and list management and star rating section. I don't really know what to call this. There's not like a headline for it. I don't think we're going to change any of it because there really isn't a need to, and same with the memberships. We made a ton of money last year off of our objectives. Our objective for this year, I think, would be to be placed in the top 12 over 12 different rounds. That may seem like a bit of a low standing or a low goal. Literally a low objective is the word I'm looking for. But fan satisfaction, I don't know how high that is, and 90% is quite high. Reaching the grand final, I don't know how we're going to go with that, and I do want a bit of a signing bonus. So I'm going to go with maintaining a top 12 position across 12 different rounds. Now I'm going to be having a look at our facilities, and we are going to be upgrading the turf to level 2, which costs $2 million, but we have $1 million extra in the bank. We can't upgrade anything else at this point in time. The condition of the medical facility seems okay. We're going to upgrade that, and that should be fine. Time to get through pre-season. We should be okay to go up against the Brisbane Lions in this one. We're just going to repeat our training. In terms of the training, I've just left it as the default. I'm not going to play around with it too much, just because, again, this is a relatively short series in terms of wanting to get this done. Now, Chase Jones, where do we put you? I need to put a team together for this opening preseason game. The new best 22 for this upcoming season. I know we do have one injury. I didn't actually even see who the injury was when I was picking this team. It is Mitch Hinge, so he will obviously come back into this 11. Who for? I'm not quite sure at this stage. But we've got Saligo back pocket, Alik Alir. It's not A-Leak. I've been used to saying Alir. Max Michelini in the other back pocket, Luke Nankervis, Mark Keane, and Rory Laird across halfback. Ben Keys on a wing, Sid Draper in the guts, Lockie Scholl on the other wing, Rankin Rover, Jordan Dawson, other Rover, Riley O'Brien in the ruck, Cozzy Pickett, half forward, Riley Thilthorpe, that's really hard to say, Riley Thilthorpe at centre half forward, Neil Bullen at the other half forward flank, Fogarty in a pocket, Tex at full forward, Rochelle in the other forward pocket, and we've got Sam Draper, Brodie Smith, Dan Curtin, Chase Jones, and Sam Berry as the sub. We've obviously got a few other players who probably could play, but are not in the team at this point in time. We're going to simulate our preseason game. We win by 4 points. We do very, very nicely. Jared Berry getting 3 votes for Brisbane. Fortunately, no injuries for the preseason game. We've actually got Port Adelaide in our opening round fixture, which does not make any sense. I don't know why that is the case. That's State League. We're not doing State League. I was a bit confused as to what that was. So we're having a showdown in opening round. That seems like a complete waste of time. When do we play Port next? Do we even play them again? We only play Port once this year. That is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, simulate, we win by 69 points. Nice. Lockie Scholl gets the 3 votes. Cozzy Pickett had a great game, gets 2 votes. 40 disposals for him, and Isaac Rankin getting the other vote. But I'm going to see you at season's end. We are currently top of the ladder. If we have a look at our full season objectives here, they are here on screen. I will see you at the end of the home and away season, potentially in the mid-season draft if need be. Fingers crossed we do better than last season. Let's get a top 4 finish. End of the regular season, we did also very, very close with all of our objectives. We maintained a top 12 position for 12 rounds. We beat 6 teams that finished in the top 8 last season, and we fell 1 game short of winning 8 games at home. And we are currently sitting very, very nicely. 2 games clear at the top of the ladder. Very good percentage. We've won our last God knows how many. And I believe we only have 1 injury. We're doing very, very well. We now have a qualifying final up against Brisbane, who we actually played and beat at the Gabba in round 23. So I'm actually feeling quietly confident about this one. Mark Keane did get injured in the last game, so Lee Kalir is going to come off the bench and come in for him. And in terms of who is going to come out of the reserves, we may as well bring in Sam Berry. He's been sort of the unlucky one that sort of floated in and out and really hasn't found a spot, unfortunately. Actually, Lee Kalir is going to play fullback. Worrell can play at centre half back. But hopefully we don't go out in straight sets. That would be outstanding. If we can beat Brisbane at home, move forward to a prelim final. Yes, we do. We do very, very nicely. These votes don't matter because it's not the home and away season. McCluggage gets the 3. Jasper Fletcher 2. Jordan Dawson with the 1. But we come away with the points in the end. And we actually, that counts as a home and away win, even though it is not during the home and away season. We get another objective, which is fantastic. McElhaney's out with a hamstring strain. That is annoying. He's also had a few injuries this year. I don't know who we're playing in the prelim. Hopefully it's not too tough a game. It's Hawthorn. It's at home, which is handy. So hopefully we can be okay. McElhaney and Mark Keane are back from injury, which is great. So a couple of quick changes. Who are we going to take out? McElhaney was injured but then came back in, so he actually didn't have to go anywhere. Berry's going to miss out again, unfortunately, as Keane comes back in. Aleek Alir, I've done it again. Aleek Alir is going to be playing coming off of the bench at this point in time. Brodie Smith, who picked up his 300th game this year, was really, really good. He's going to be the sub. Nankervis, Daniel Curtin, who's really come along, sort of playing off the bench as sort of this utility role, even though he's not a utility. Tex Walker's up to 320 games now. But our forward line have been really, really good. We've shared the load around nicely with the goals, I believe. Hopefully we can get through to a granny here. We do. It's a high-scoring game. It's a 15-point win. Rankin was really good. 36 disposals. And very, very impressive. How else did he go? He kick any goals? Kicked 2 goals. Was very good. We're now in the grand final, and as always, we are going to... Hinge has missed the grand final with an injury, unfortunately. We are going to spectate the grand final. I think that's what we're going to do, but to make it go quickly, we're going to put it on like 2.5-minute quarters. So, I mean, the whole point of this video is the build-up of the rebuild. The grand final is just the piece de la resistance. So if you want me to play the grand final in future, I'm happy to, and if you want it to be longer, that is fine. Just let me know down in the comments. Who are we going to play, though? That is the thing. We're going to be playing the premiers from last season. It's the Dockers. So, and they've been the second best team all season. Hopefully, we don't get too messed up in training with injuries. We don't. Hinge had a couple of injury issues last season and this season as well. Lee Kalir going to be going. Actually, put Nankervis in the back pocket. And who we're going to bring in... Let's bring in... We'll make Tyler Welsh the sub. Why not? He's a father-son. He deserves a go. He's played a few games for us. Kicked a few goals. Brodie Smith can go on the bench. But it's basically our best team bearing one, which is good. So, grand final team. We've got McElhaney, Keane, Nankervis, Saligo, Worrell, Laird, Keys, Draper. That's Sid Draper, actually, who's come along really well. 76 overall now. Chase Jones, Isaac Rankin, who's had a lot of midfield minutes this year, Jordan Dawson, Riley O'Brien, Cozzy Pickett, Phil Thorpe, Neil Bullen, Fogarty, Tex, Rochelle, and then on the bench we've got Sam Draper, Brodie Smith, Daniel Curtin, and Leek Alir with Tyler Welsh as the sub. From the 2017 side, is there any players that are still here? Obviously, Tex would have been here. I think, obviously, Rory Laird would have been here. Brodie Smith would have been here. But I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. So only the 3 players remaining from the 2017 side. Here we are 9 years later. Let's play the game. Tactically, I don't think we'll play with tactics, but I'm not a big fan of Freo wearing the purple. We'll make them wear white. Hopefully this will go okay. Let's spectate, and the Crows can come home with the granny victory. To quote Brian Taylor, it's absolutely pissing down at the MCG. 18-kilometre winds, it's raining, it's awful. It's an awful day for football. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a wonderful day for football because we've got 2 non-Victorian sides here at the MCG playing in the 2026 AFL Grand Final. And Freo's song has not kicked in yet, but here it is now. They won the Premiership last year, and there's a lot for them to do to overcome the Adelaide Crows in this year's Grand Final. Nat Fyfe on the bench. 2-time Brownlow medalist and deservedly a Premiership player, Andy Brayshaw, who won the Brownlow, I think, last season. No, it was Tom Liberatore, actually. So I think he might have been in the top 2. But here we go, lining up for the team photo. They all look very snazzy. And here we come up the race. Out onto the MCG with Jordan Dawson leading from the front. In 2017, it was Tex Walker. He's still playing today, but he is a veteran now in what could possibly be his final game, along with Brodie Smith. Can the Crows get it done for 2 long-time servants of the footy club? Rory Laird also shouldn't be forgotten. He's been so consistent for so many years off of half-back. There's a lot on the line here for today's game. And here we are lining up for the team photo. Matty Nix puts the Crows. He's taken them from COVID times all the way to the grand final. With the national anthem done, it's now time for the toss of the coin. Who is going to win the toss? Freo have called heads. May have gotten lost in the clouds. The Crows have won the toss. Always a good sign. We are going to kick to the left of screen. And in the last Saturday in September, Riley O'Brien wins it out of the middle. Sid Draper trying to get it forward. Just a little sort of scuffling around at the moment. Draper gets it back, kicks it wide. Finds Ben Keys, gets wrapped up by Jagger O'Meara. Aish now, very famous South Australian name, finds Shea Bolton. What a recruit he's been for Freo. Now a Premiership player for both Richmond and Fremantle. Down the line now, back in the Bolton direction. Good spoil. Michaelaney picks it up. Simpson kicks the first for Freo. Not an ideal start, I have to say. But hopefully we can be a little bit better. Great tackle from behind by Dawson. Freo kicking forward now. We get the mark at centre half back. Keane looking forward, finds Sid Draper. Now, Jones is wrapped up at halfback. It's holding the ball. Caleb Sarong's going to have a look at it. Getting amongst it early, Fremantle. Can they get the first 2 goals on Grand Final day? We might be in a bit of strife, and that is the case. Ball going forward for Fremantle once again. But it's Worrell takes a good grab at halfback, kicking down the line, looking for O'Brien, can't find him. Brayshaw, the captain, stands up inspirationally. Draper can't handle. Is that Murphy Reid in the rain? Probably the second most famous Reid in Western Australia, I should say. And Freo have 3. And it's Nat Fyfe, of course. Who else? Puts it through for Fremantle. And we are in a lot of trouble here. Rankin tackles, and now Riley O'Brien puts on a tackle. We have a chance to go forward. Just looking for somebody. Finds Isaac Rankin. He's been awesome since he's come across from Gold Coast, and Darcy Fogarty could have a shot at goal. Kicks towards the skipper. Ball goes to ground. Freo have numbers back. Now Chase Jones could be the outlet. We get our 3 defensive spoils, which really isn't a lot. And Darcy, no, it's not Darcy Fogarty. It is Alex Neil-Bullen. Going to be taking the mark inside forward 50 to get one back for the Crows. He's done well. Good to get a goal on the board. Unfortunately, it wasn't as early as we probably would have wanted. Jones gets wrapped up by 2. We get the ball free, and it's a ball up. So not quite quickly enough to get the ball free. O'Brien now trying to knock it forward. We got hands in the middle. Finds Ben Keys, gets boot to ball. It's holding the ball once again in the middle of the ground. But a high-scoring quarter, considering it's only 2.5 minutes. Freo have 3 on the day so far. And the Crows have 1. So we're not doing too bad. We're sticking around. We're actually getting more of the ball than Freo. But we need to be doing better, hitting the scoreboard a lot more frequently. Let's get the second quarter underway. We've got a 2-goal disadvantage to start. Need to be doing a lot better if we're going to be winning this premiership. And the Crows 3rd in club history. Neil Bullen, the goal kicker, has it at half forward, gives it away. Freo working the ball up the ground, finds Switkowski. We've got numbers back. We need to take a mark. Ball goes to ground, but we recover it well. Jordan Dawson, possibly a Brownlow medal contender this year. Ben Keys kicking down the line. It's a poor kick. Goes back in the hands of Murphy Reid. Going to be looking in the Clark direction and finds him. Bit of a cluster in Freo's forward line. Good spoil. Ball goes to ground. Aish kicks it. Freo have 4. Trying to win it out of the middle once again. We just turn the ball over. Got Dawson running onto it. Has a man in pursuit. Kicks it up the line looking for Cozzy. Can't take the mark. Rankin from outside 50. Kicks long in the wet. Thilthorpe takes a mark on the goal line. Does a terrific job to stop. I think that was Warner from taking the mark. But we need a goal here just to balance things a little bit. Work a bit of momentum in our favour. He kicks it into the upper tier. Back to a 2-goal game. Ball kicked backwards by Freo. Bit more pressure in the middle of the ground. I do like what I'm seeing from the Crows in this quarter. Not good enough on that play though. Good hands by Nankervis in defensive half. Kicking short, looking for Neil Bullen. Finds him. Another short kick. I like the build-up play. Draper kicking short once again. Ball dropped by Dan Curtin. Draper in chase. Kicks it wide. Somehow finds Neil Bullen. Does a really good job there. Kicking in the Rochelle direction. Only finds the Freo... former skipper. He's not the skipper anymore, but Alex Pearce takes the mark on that occasion. And then Cozzy Pickett interferes. Riley Thilthorpe trying to take the mark. Got a wide ball for Freo. Tex giving it his all. Great tackle by the big man. We got another ball up. Freo win the clearance. Great fist from behind. That's in the back. Saligo's got a free kick. Kicking it short. Chase Jones takes the mark. Now looking for Neil Bullen. He's got it on centre wing. Pickett and Walker. Pickett does well. Wearing the famous number 18. Made famous by Stiffy Johncock and Eddie Betts. Only 1 goal apiece that quarter. But still a 2-goal game as it was at quarter time. Not as much time left in the game to bridge it back, unfortunately. but we're still doing okay. We at least kept even that quarter. If we can get a couple more goals on the rest of the game, we should be okay, but Freo have been dominant early. Third quarter now underway. Dawson getting it out of the middle very cleanly. Ben Keys has the mark just inside the center square, kicking short. Not really sure who that was intended for. Jones looking for a goal. It's offline. Now under a 2-goal game. Short kick from Freo's fullback. And now the youngster, Sid Draper, only in his second season, has 6 disposals on the game so far. No goals. Has snuck it in. Crows get the first of the second half, and it's back to a 5-point game. Now we got Sam Draper in the ruck now, giving Riley O'Brien a bit of a spell. Jones running onto it, gives it back to Draper. Gives it inside to his other Draper. Where are all the Drapers coming from? I knew I was going to have this problem if we were ever going to make a grand final. And there's Sid Draper once again. Gives it to Dawson. Back to Draper. Draper's got 2 in the quarter. And the Crows hit the front. All of a sudden, 2 quick goals to the Crows. And we are back in the lead. Actually, we never had the lead. First lead of the game, I should say. Nathaniel gets wrapped up. Gets the ball clear. Now we got big Sean Darcy. Sam Darcy plays for the Doggies. Lee Kalia, great fist. Gives it inside to Nankervis, who gives it straight to Switkowski. And Freo have the lead back. This is high stakes footy right now. Sam Draper in the ruck. Knocks it down to Sid. Dawson now gives it straight to Fogarty at centre half forward. Have a shot, son. You've got the leg. I know it's wet. Now Dan Curtin can't take the mark inside forward 50. Risky kick. In the hands of James Aish. Jagger O'Meara feels like he's played in every single state. Not in every single state. Obviously, he played for the Gold Coast. He's played for Freo. He obviously played for Hawthorn as well. Only needs to tick off New South Wales and South Australia, and he's basically done. Brodie Smith has picked up a hamstring injury. Could be his final game. Good tackle by Freo. Michael Laney looking forward, looking for Cozzy. Only finds Chapman. Neil Bullen takes a contested mark on the wing. We've got numbers. Dawson. Brayshaw does well. The 2 skippers playing against each other. Being direct opponents for basically all of the game so far. Down the line. Banfield, great hands. Now looking for Jagger O'Meara once again. Siren's gone for 3-quarter time. And this could be a very interesting kick. If he misses, it's an even goal. The wind has swung it back beautifully. It's now an 11-point game. It's going to be very, very difficult to come back from here to finish the game strong. 1 quarter to go in the 2026 season. Sam Draper hopefully going to stand up for his new club. That's in the back. We don't want that, Cozzy. Down the line for Freo. Mark Keane, the Irishman, great hands. Kicking forward, looking for, I think that was Fogarty. Doesn't find him. Another short kick. Now Mickey Walters has been on Freo's list for so long. He deserved a premiership medal last year. And Sean Darcy, the big fella, takes the mark. All but certain to put it through from here. And he does. We need 3 goals to win the grand final, and we have not got a lot of time to do it. Phil Thorpe is now in for Sam Draper. And now we've got Cozzy Pickett in the middle of the ground. Can't take the mark up forward. Sid Draper gives it off. Got another tackle forward. Tex lays it down. Intercepted by Sid Draper. Pickett picks it up. Kicking forward, looking for Phil Thorpe. Rochelle takes a contested mark. This is what we need. We haven't got a lot of time. Rochelle puts it through. We get our first, and it's back to an 11-point game. 2 goals to win the grand final. Riley O'Brien back in the ruck. Cozzy Pickett in the middle now. Ball goes backwards. That is not what we want. Dawson and Brayshaw, the 2 skippers, giving chase. Brayshaw gets there first. That's holding the ball, though. Dawson does a good job. Jones on the wing. Kicking short, finds Fogarty. Gives it up to Rory Laird. Hasn't really seen it today. We can't take the mark. Ball hits the deck, actually. Fogarty kicks it forward. We need a mark. It's the Texan. Hasn't touched it all day. But if there was one man Who could save the Crows from this position? It's the Texan. He puts it through. Crows are back within 1. It's a 5-point game. There isn't a lot of time left. One of our players just slipped over. I don't really know what happened there. We need a mark. There's a fist. Fife looking short. Good fist from behind. Banfield gets wrapped up. Good pressure, guys. Saligo in the back pocket needs to clear it. Pickett's in pursuit. He's kicked it out on the full. James Aish. He's already got one on today. It's going to be a tough kick from here. I tell you what, that's not bad. He's done well and he's put it through, and potentially a nail in the hearts of Crows fans. 11-point game, not a lot of time left. I think we don't have enough time. Draper gives it to Dawson. Freo have won the Premiership. That hurts. That really hurts. We're going to have to come back next year. Sam Draper looks devastated. Freo, after not winning one for 30 years, have now won 2 in a row. And here's the grand final presentation. I don't really want to watch it, to be honest, but we probably should. We would have to watch it if we won, so we should watch it if we lose. Who's going to win the Norm Smith? Chase Jones wins the Norm Smith? Really? But sure, we'll have to look at the stats. Justin Longmuir gets his Jock McHale medal. Andy Brayshaw, the skipper. And here we go, Freo looking to lift the cup for the 2nd year in a row. The Dockers are premiers. So the actual Norm Smith medalist was Sid Draper. I did not think James Aish. Chase Jones was going to be the Norm Smith medalist because Sid Draper kicked 2 goals in that 3rd quarter, I think it was. Had 14 disposals and was rightfully so the Norm Smith medalist. I don't know why Chase Jones came up, but that is really, really strange. We have to come back next year. Oh, that's annoying. I really thought we were going to have it done there. Brodie Smith, it's a hamstring strain. Nothing too serious. Tom Green wins the Brownlow medal. Jordan Dawson was actually runner-up. And no Tom Liberatore. Actually, he's right down the bottom there. Rankin also got 17 votes, was very good. Treacy, 39 goals on the year. And Monty Panesar for Sydney was the Rising Star winner. Jordan Dawson made the All-Australian team, as did Darcy Fogarty for a 2nd year in a row. But now we get to the off-season once again for 2026. We're just going to have a quick scout of our club statistics. Phil Thorpe led the goal kicking. Rochelle in 2nd, Dawson 3rd, Rankin in 4th. Very, very good seasons for all of those guys. Tex Walker had a better year. Only missed the 1 game, 31 goals. Now, for his season, I should say, Cozzy Pickett had a really good first year. Fogarty was good. We were really lucky with injuries to our key guys. We didn't really lose anyone for a seriously long time. So hopefully we can continue that good luck this off-season. Now it's time to look at the free agency portion of this off-season, and we're just going to look at our players first. Chase Jones, Sambury, Curtin, and Pedler, as well as Dawson, Michaelini, Hinge, Ryan, Laird, Dowling, Scharenberg, Annabelle, Scholl, and Butts are all out of contract. I'm probably only going to bring back Laird, Dawson, Michaelini, Hinge, and Curtin. And obviously the other guys if we need to. But first things first, we need to sign up Jordan Dawson. He was on a very big contract last season. I don't know how old he is now. With us saying 2015 draft, it's now 2026. He would be in and around 30, so maybe a 3-year deal to get him through to 33. That would be decent. And he only wants $11.14 million a season, so that should be just fine. The salary cap has gone up to $18.3 million, so we have a lot of cap space to spend on potentially bringing in some new players. The only unfortunate thing is we don't have our 1st round pick this year. Obviously, we traded it away for Cozzy Pickett. Jordan Dawson is now re-signed as we expected he would. Who else? Dan Curtin, I would love to re-sign. He was very, very good for us. Now up to an 82 overall. How much money is he after? $620,000 a year is very, very reasonable for the young man. We'll give him a 3-year deal. We'll put that deal through. Michael Laney's also coming back on a 3-year deal worth $390,000 a season, so a little bit more expensive than what he was on last year, but we've also saved money on Dawson and I believe Dan Curtin as well. So we'll obviously have to have a look at that. Hinge is a little bit older, although is a restricted free agent. So if he were to sign somewhere else, we could get a decent draft pick. Although, depending on who we can sign and how replaceable he is, I know I did say I was going to bring him back, but we'll have a look at him in a minute. Rory Laird is now going to come back on a one-year deal worth basically $845,000 a season, also saving a little bit on his 2026 salary. So if we can get him only signing a one-year deal, he'd be over 35, I think, at one point, or at this point now. So hopefully we can get that deal done. If he wants another year, I'll give it to him. That's fine. We'll just have to drop the salary a little bit. We'll drop it back to 800,000. He now wants 833. So we'll front end it. We'll go 835. We'll put this deal through. Laird signed up for another 2 years. The only one of the big players left that I said I was going to re-sign was Hinge. Now, I think we can get something for him if we lose him via free agency. He is a very, very good player, so we could probably get a top 20 pick, although we could also trade him away for something as well. So just something to keep an eye on. The other guys, in terms of free agency, I'm going to keep open for now, because I do want to have a look at what is there on the open market. And if we have a look, we can see that there is Blixarves. I want to have a look at this by overall rating. Who's a 90 overall and a free agent? Dane Zorko, he's not leaving Brisbane. 89, Liberatore, he's not leaving the Bulldogs. 87, we've got Sam May, Jeremy McGovern, Pendlebury, and Jared Witts. None of those guys are probably leaving their teams. We're going to have to go further down the line. Patrick Dangerfield. Oh, that would be fun. I don't think he would leave Geelong, though, realistically. Blixarves, no. I mean, I'm not going to go for Blixarves, and we're really getting into our territory now of Jamie Elliott and Hinge. So we're not really going to sign any big free agents here, mainly because I don't think any of them would want to come to Adelaide, even though we just lost in the grand final. So we're going to have to go to the trade market now. The trade period is now open, and Hayden McLean has been traded to Melbourne for pick 23. Ginnivan has been traded by Hawthorn to St Kilda for pick 6, and Georgiadis has been traded from Port Adelaide to Sydney for pick 23 and 21. None of our other guys have been signed as free agents just yet, so I think we're going to go to the trading board now. Actually, one thing that I do want to do, which I don't think I did last season, is have a look at the draft pool, and there are some very, very good youngsters here. Damien Black, a very, very good young, big-bodied midfielder. Only a 71 overall, but has a ton of potential, 93 to 98. He is probably the number 1 projected pick. And again, Port Adelaide have the number 1 pick, so it's going to probably be difficult to lure the number 1 pick away from Port. Richmond have pick 2, so that could be a direction that we do go in. If we could get a deal done for the number 2 pick with Richmond, that would be very, very interesting for us. Now, we would probably have to give up Hinge and Shoal to get the deal done. We'd probably have to throw in some future draft picks as well. Maybe someone like a Chase Jones as well would probably have to get the deal done. Considering they're all free agents, that would maybe be enough. They're insulted by the proposal. Okay, so trading for draft picks is a lot harder this year, which is probably good, especially if you are playing on the hardest difficulty. We would probably have to give up our future first round pick as well. They say it's significantly less than what they're looking for. We'll take out Chase Jones. We'll throw in pick 35 in the second round. They still say no to that. Who else would we have to give up? We'll throw in Oscar Ryan. He's a player that hasn't really played for us, and I don't really see him breaking into our team. He is a very good young player with a bit of potential, but they still say no. My last offer would be probably throwing in someone like a Saligo or someone like that, mainly because they are Victorian. They may be expressing interest to return to Victoria. I don't know whether or not they would want to do that, or if that would even get the deal done, so I'm not actually going to worry about it. I'm now going to go to Hawthorn because they currently have 3 first round picks and they could probably part with one of them, so I'm going to go for the middle one in pick 9. We're going to be sending Chase Jones, Lockie Scholl, and Mitch Hinge to the Hawks. Hopefully this deal is accepted. They're close to reaching an agreement. If I could ask for pick 16 and throw in a future first, that would be very, very handy to the cause, because I'm guessing that our first round pick would be higher than pick 16. They say no. We would probably have to throw in another player, which I don't really want to, but this could potentially be a place for, if I can find him, this could be a place for Oscar Ryan. I think the Hawks would probably be interested in him. I would probably want another pick back. So maybe if we can get pick 34 in the second round as well. They say no to that. Would we get a future third round pick? Would that get it done? And they say it's a fair deal. So Jones, Scholl, Hinge, and Oscar Ryan are out of here. We get pick 9. Hopefully that can help out in moving up in the draft. Going to be sending Sam Berry, who is out of contract, over to North Melbourne. We're going to be asking for pick 22 in this year's draft in the second round. If they say yes to that, that would be very kind. They say no, unfortunately. Let's throw in a future third, which we got in a previous trade. They still say no. What about our own future third round pick? They're saying we're close. We would have to probably give up another player because I don't think any of our other picks will do it. I don't really want to give up another second, and we don't have another third to give up. So we're going to have to go to a player. Would this be a destination for one of the players we picked up in the rookie draft last year? We could send a Dowling there, although he was already on the list, and he hasn't really played for us this entire series. So we could probably send him away. North Melbourne accept. We're continuing to move up in the draft. Okay, it says that Lachie Neale isn't a free agent until 2027. So I was going to trade for him, and it says he's going to sign with us now. So apparently Lachie Neale has just signed with us. I just want to quickly double check this, because hopefully that is not the case. Tyler Welsh apparently got delisted. I did not do that. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. But Lachie Neale is now a member of the Adelaide Crows, which I fully intended on trading for him. I've accidentally delisted Tyler Welsh as well, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, further business that needs to be dealt with. I need to send something to Brisbane in forms of compensation. Obviously I can't trade for Lachie Neale because he's not on Brisbane anymore. So let's send something to Brisbane for Lachie Neale. I don't know what they would be interested in. Okay, let's figure this out. We could let's give them like a fourth. He's obviously worth more than a fourth round pick, but I don't really fancy giving up a first round pick. So maybe like a second round pick, and they can give us like a future second. That would work. They're close to an agreement. We'll throw in all these picks here. You can have all of them. They also say no to that. Can we? I don't have a third round pick to give up. Okay, I'm gonna work this out, and I'll be back. Okay, what we're going to do is actually we're going to do a quick pick swap. We've got pick 35, they've got pick 37. They should accept this fairly easily. How are they not accepting that? That is so dumb. They're literally getting a higher draft pick straight up and they say no. We'll throw in a fourth round pick to get it done. They still say no. Do we really have to throw in a future fourth round pick? This is ridiculous. How are they not saying yes to that? Okay, screw it, Brisbane. You're being unreasonable. You're not getting compensation for Lachie Neale. But that is good. We get Lachie Neale. Obviously, he is South Australian. And I was going to do this whole spiel about he's South Australian. We're going to bring him back for one last ride in South Australia. And then we actually didn't get a chance to trade we didn't trade for him. We signed him as a free agent. But now that in terms of our delistings, we can see that Tyler Welsh has been delisted. Sam Day's retired. Cook has been delisted. And Ball Lace has been delisted. We've still got 13 roster spots to fill. Ideally, I would like to get that really good young midfielder that I saw. I think Black was his surname, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this guy, Damien Black. So we're going to have to go to Richmond and get the second pick because I don't think Port would ever do a trade where they would give up the number 1 pick to us because I feel like we would desperately have to overpay to get it done. So we're going to go pick 9, pick a future first, pick 22, and a future second. Will Richmond say yes to this? They say no. What if we take out the future second and we throw in a player? What player would they be interested in? I'm not going to give you Draper. I'm not going to give you Curtin. I would have to give you a young player. Would Rochelle interest you? Because I probably value Saligo more than Rochelle as much as I do like Rochelle. We'll trade Rochelle. They still say no. Would Saligo get it done? They also say no to that. So Richmond are being a little unreasonable. We may have to go further down the draft board. Let's go down to pick 3, see who has pick 3. The Swans, and then North Melbourne, then St Kilda. So I need to remember that. Okay, let's go to the Swans first. Who do we have that's from New South Wales? I don't think we actually have anybody. Let's just go pick 9 and a future first straight up. They say no. Pick 22, will that get it done? We are very close. Would pick 35. Actually, I want to keep pick 30. Actually, no, I want to trade pick 35. Because I want the future second just in case they say no. Come on, Sydney. Come to the table. They say no as well. Okay. I don't really want to give up any of my players unless I desperately have to. And I don't think anybody realistically would want to go play for Sydney. So we're going to have to move down to, I think, was it the Bulldogs or St Kilda? It was one of those teams. I can't remember which one it was. It was North Melbourne, then St Kilda. The Bulldogs were never in the deal. Okay, let's go to North. We'll go 9, 22, 35, and a future second. Let's try and keep our future first round pick just in case. They say that we're close. Okay. Let's take out the future second. Can we go? Go. They need a key defender. Could I interest you in Nick Murray? Would that be keen? I know he's South Australian. I probably shouldn't have done that. We'll throw in Keane, the Irishman. They say yes. We have pick 4. We've actually done a lot of trading with North Melbourne today, not intentionally. But hopefully Black will slide down to pick 4. If not, we'll have to go somewhere else. But I think draft-wise, we're probably done. If we just have a look at the draft picks that we do have, we'll just need to do a quick scout. We've got 4, 72, 90, and then we get into the back end of the draft of picks that we don't really need to use. I think that'll be fine. In terms of uncontracted players that are still here, there's 4 of them. Scharenberg, he's not going to sign. Annabelle will sign, so we'll sign him for a year. That's fine. We'll sign him to a 1-year deal. He's rejected. He wants more years. Fine, we'll give you a 3-year deal. He's a good backup if we desperately need it. And Pedler and Butts, I'm quite happy to let go. So I might look and find a home for Jonty Scharenberg. I believe he used to play for Collingwood. He got drafted to Collingwood, so we'll see if we can send him back to Collingwood. He at least knows his way around the facilities. If we can get a 3rd round pick, that'll be swell. They say no. We'll take this year's 4th round pick and a future 4th. That'll be fine. And they say yes. We're now done. Let's go to the draft. Geelong have traded Ollie Henry to the West Coast Eagles for a future 1st round pick. Hawthorn have traded Massimo D'Ambrosio and a future third, I should say. Where's my F's and my T's? For a pick 12 and an unused draft pick to the Suns. Hinge has returned from injury, which is lovely. Flynn Riley's been traded from Freo to Essendon for pick 47. And I believe that is all the trades that have been done. Now it's time to head into the draft, and it is really just a case of let's cross our fingers and hope the top 3 teams don't take our guy. So hopefully they don't. With the first pick, Port take our guy. We should have traded with Port, but hopefully we can get somebody else. We probably should have planned for a backup. Okay, where do we go from here? I'm just going to try and pick best player available in terms of potential, and that appears to be Ryder Gill. He's a left footer, halfback flanker. We did get rid of Mitch Hinge, so he could be a good backup. He has a bit of potential. Is there anybody else that I do like the look of? There's another backup ruck here, Riley Cassidy, really tall. He's another left footer, 69 overall, 85 to 93. Any other real options? Does not appear to be the case. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the halfback flanker. I think he's going to be the best player for us. Unfortunately, we do miss out on Damien Black. We probably should have traded up a little bit further. We could have potentially overwhelmed Port Adelaide with a deal, but not the case. Unfortunately, we've still got another 9 players we need to pick. So this is just going to be the beefing up of the back of the list. There's a utility here who I do like the look of, Bentley Sebastian. I'm not even going to look at basically your attributes. I just like the look of him. He's got good potential and can do a job for us. We might go mature age here. I think that is where we're going to go. Let's see who's an 80 overall. Is it Marcus Windhager? Marcus Windhager, yep. He's been on an AFL list before. Still has a bit to give. We'll pick him up. Cal Shadir appears to be delisted from Hawthorn. I believe he was born and raised in South Australia, so that is quite funny that we're going to be getting a look at him here. Good pickup by us. 77 overall. So Jack Watkins. Spent some time with Geelong. We'll pick him up. That is fine. And in the 76 overall range, we've actually got quite a few players to have a look at. The first is Lockie Cowan, who participated in our short-lived Tassie series. So we know a little bit about his work, but all these players are strictly just going to be reserve players. Because, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I've accidentally selected someone there. Let's not do that again. But as I was saying, we're just going to take the best sort of players available. There's no real need for us to do anything else. We're trying to just beef up the back of our list. A lot of these guys aren't going to play. So let's just do the best we can with what we have in the rookie draft. Hopefully we don't need to take too many players. We need to take 3 players. Let's just take some veterans here, try and beef up the back of our list. In terms of guys that previously played in the AFL, actually, is Tyler Welsh here? He isn't, unfortunately. So it looks like Tyler Welsh has been picked up. So that is a little bit annoying. There's some good young players here that have previously been delisted. We've got Hugh Boxall here, who used to play for St Kilda. We're going to pick him up with our first selection. Hopefully a few of those younger players. I know I said I was going to take some veterans, but if there's good value in younger players who were on AFL lists previously, it looks like a lot of them have been picked up now. Lucas Camporelli is here. Obviously the son of Scott Camporelli, who was the stand-in coach and was a long-time assistant for the Crows. He stood in when Phil Walsh was killed. So good to get him in on the side. Knows the Crows system a little bit just through his dad. And I did see one other player here, if I can find him, Jacob Mollier, who is a ruck. So I'm going to take another one. Went to the same high school as me when I was a kid, actually. So that is quite funny. I think we're done with the draft. Now it's time to head back into the new season. In terms of coaching, I don't really think there's a lot for me to do. Fitness and medical, I think with us continually upping up our facilities, we could probably afford to reduce some of our medical stuff, but I don't really want to play around with it too much. Unfortunately, we can't go above the soft cap. So we're just going to leave everything as is for now. And in terms of funds, we are fine on funds, so we're not going to play with it just yet. Platinum is where we're going to go for the objective this season. We're going to go with really high fan satisfaction, because I think it was at 100%, if I'm not mistaken, at one point of the year. So if we just have a look at the objectives for this year, we can see that we've got to end the season with a 90% or higher fan satisfaction, win 2 games against top 4 teams from last year, and also win 2 games against top 6 teams from last year. So that should be fairly easy to do. And then there's obviously our match objectives as well, which change from game to game. We got through preseason relatively comfortably. We don't have to play in opening round, and we don't have any injuries currently. And this is probably going to be our best side for this year. We've got Saligo in the back pocket, Lecalier at fullback, Mike Laney in the back pocket, Lockie Cowan at halfback, Josh Worrell on the other back flank with Rory Laird. Isaac Rankin's going to be playing on a wing this year. Obviously, we've got Lockie Neal in the guts with Sid Draper, Ben Keys, Jordan Dawson. Riley O'Brien's going to be the ruck. Cozzy Pickett's going to be at half forward. Thilthorpe at centre half forward. Neil Bullen at half forward with Fogarty in a forward pocket. Tex, 36 years of age, still really, really good. And Rochelle in the other forward pocket with Sam Draper. Daniel Curtin's up to 85 overall now. Brodie Smith still kicking on. Ryder Gill on the bench. He's our draft pick from last year, and James Peatling going to be the sub. I like the look of our side. There's a lot of good players here that are missing out, like the Nan Curvises of the world, the Cowshed Deers, the Nick Murrays. There's a whole bunch of players that are missing out. Even Marcus Windhager, who's an 80 overall, is missing out. But we've got round 1 up against the Bombers. Can we get a win? We get absolutely smoked at the Adelaide Oval. Not a good sign of things to come. This could be a very, very interesting season if injuries, as they have done, do not go our way. I mean, they've gone our way so far this episode. Hopefully they continue to go away. I've actually got the showdown as well for this for this round. Round 2, the showdown. We've still got no injuries. We're just going to smash through it. Hopefully we can get a win. 113-point win in the showdown. Lockie Neal was outstanding. Tex Walker kicks 5. What a performance by the boys. Now we can push forward and continue with the rest of our season. Okay, the season didn't go absolutely perfectly. If we have a quick scout of the ladder, we did finish in the top 4. We're actually out of the top 8 for quite a while, probably around the halfway mark of the season, but we work our way back in. We actually finished with the best percentage in the AFL, which is very handy. But we now have to play GWS in a qualifying final up in Western Sydney, which is going to be tough. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Apparently, no, we're actually playing an elimination final. That's even worse. I thought we were going to play up against Greater Western Sydney. Fan-freaking-tastic. Rory Laird has just picked up an injury, which is annoying. And Ben Keys actually retired effective immediately due to him receiving an injury. Rochelle is back. The Texan is back. So we've got a few moves that we need to take care of here. So what we're going to do is going to put Tex back at half forward. Oh, sorry, full forward. Rochelle is not going to be playing half back. We could put Rankin at half back. We'll go Cozzy Pickett on a wing. That's actually a bit dumb. I'm not going to do that. We'll put in Ryder Gill as our half back. That's better. Then Kausha Deer can move back to the bench. Rankin can go back to half forward. Pickett can go to half forward. Rankin can go to the wing. Gill can do the kickouts with Saligo. And I think apart from that, we are good to go. I believe we are. Be any other injuries that I'm missing out on? No. So apart from Keys' retirement, we've got Neil Bullen, who's out for a long time. I think he dislocated his shoulder or something. And Rory Laird, who should be back in a couple of weeks. So hopefully that will be the case. Because we look down here, yeah, Neil Bullen, 19 to 20 weeks with a dislocated shoulder. So not ideal. But we've now got the elimination final up against the Bulldogs. We need to win this to stay alive. We need to play all 4 weeks of finals to win a premiership. And we beat the Doggies at home by 40 points. Rankin, O'Brien, and Libba are all best on. Very, very solid performance. Let's move on to the semi-final. We get a bit of coin. We did lose some money, but that was because we upgraded some more facilities. We can see that our medical facilities are up to level 3 now out of 4. We haven't upgraded the gym equipment just yet. We should quickly repair our facilities just to make sure everything is okay and in tip-top shape before we head into finals. Tex has picked up a calf strain, which is not ideal. And now we play GWS up in Western Sydney. We'll automate the travel. Hopefully, we can get through this relatively unscathed. We'll put Dan Curtin at full forward. Actually, we'll put the Fog at full forward. We'll play Peatling at half forward. Who's going to come in? Rory Laird is back, which is good. So we can now put him back on a back flank. He can do the kickouts. With Saligo, Deer can come back onto the bench. Oh, sorry, Gill can come back onto the bench. He's been very good, actually, so far this season. But without the Texan, we've got a lot to do to get by GWS. Can we get the win? Yes, we do. 50-point victors. Lockie Neal gets the votes in this one, doing very, very well. We now have the Hawks at half forward. Lee Kalir is out with hamstring tightness. Hopefully we can get somebody back. We've got 5 injuries at the moment. We might have to put Dan Curtin back at full back because he does sort of float around, do a bit of everything. We are lacking in key defenders. That is one thing that I did miss in the off-season. Jake Suter hasn't played a game for us all series since we drafted him. He's going to be coming in and doing an important job for us. Is that going to be enough to get us through to the grand final? Which, if we do make the grand final, I will be playing it. I'm not going to repeat the mistake of last season. But we need to get through. We need to win. And we're through once again. 35-point win. Dawson does well. Will Day gets some votes for the Hawks. But it is another grand final appearance for the Crows. And it's up against Freo once again. Freo just cannot be beaten so far in this video. We are coming back. Cowan is going to be out for the grand final. Lee Kalir is also back. We also get some money for achieving one of our objectives, which is lovely. Hopefully, everybody is going to be fully fit. Is Tex back? That is the important question. Lee Leary's back, which is good. Cowan's out. Tex Walker is back, so he's going to be in for the grand final. Who is going to be the poor bugger that misses out? Cowan obviously can't help it. He's out with an injury. We'll put Peatling at halfback. Fogarty can play in the forward pocket. Dan Curtin forward flank. That works out fine. Lee Lear is coming off an injury, but is the right person to come in for Jake Sutar. So he did well for one game. It'll be a game that will be remembered in Crows folklore forever if we win this premiership. Cal Shadir has done well. Nan Curvis, we might make him off the bench. We'll make Watkins the sub. Is anybody else destined to come back in? I don't believe so. Nope. Oh, Windhager could come in. We did have him. He was injured at one point, so we might bring him back in. For who's he going to come in for? Jack Watkins is going to be the poor bugger. Nan Curvis can be the sub. Other than that, we are good to go. It is grand final week. We are going to play this one. We got absolutely smoked in the last grand final against Freo. We're going to go with the Clash Guernseys. Hopefully, we will not repeat the same mistake as last time. I am not playing 10-minute quarters. Let me just patch that up quickly. We're going to do 2.5-minute quarters, match time. Okay, now everything is fixed. Let's get into the game. Hopefully, we can redeem ourselves. Here we are, 1 year later. It's not raining this year. We've got clear skies and 4-kilometre winds. Freo, the reigning 2-time premiers. Can we stop the three-peat? We need to stop the three-peat in order to get our 3rd premiership in club history. Tex Walker back into the lineup. Rory Laird still there. Brodie Smith still in the side as well, I'm pretty sure. Possibly for the last time. We said this in the last grand final. They've chosen to play on. Will this be the final career games for those 3 who last played in the 2017 grand final? And let's line up for the club photo. Let's have a look. Let's all line everyone up very nicely. No power stance this year. And how appropriate it would be if we win this game 10 years to the day after that grand final stinker against Richmond. And out come a very powerful team from Perth, the 2-time premiers in this video, the Freo Dockers. And in also what could be the final game of Nat Fyfe's career. He's obviously getting up there in years now, but a 3-time premiership player, back-to-back-to-back grand finalist, a 2-time Brownlow medalist. Could he get it done? Could he get it done? He played very well in the first grand final we saw. And one thing that should be mentioned, we've got Lachie Neale, who we actually signed in free agency from Brisbane, playing against his final side, or his former side, I should say, who played in the 2013 grand final against Hawthorn. And listen to the roar of the crowd. Now time for the toss of the coin. Dawson and Brayshaw met this time last year in this exact location to toss the coin. We won it last time and lost. Freo have won it this time. And they're going to kick to the left of screen just as we did. But this time we are in control. O'Brien trying to get up. We get the ball clear. Dawson smashes it forward. Phil Thorpe going to be lining up for his first of the day and the first of the grand final. Obviously, a very strong betting point for many, many years. Who's going to kick the first goal of the grand final? And this year, it's Riley Thilthorpe. Really good start in the middle of the ground. We give the ball away. Brayshaw looking for a target, ends up in the hands of Switkowski. Kicked a goal in last year's grand final. We pick it up at halfback. Quick kick forward. We can't get it. Peatling gets wrapped up. We got a ball up. Freo going forward now. Can't get the mark. Jaya-miss. Looking for a target forward. Mickey Walters still in the side. Great hands by Saligo. Let's kick down the line. We got Pickett in space. Trying to take the mark. We can't. But Pickett now running forward. Puts it on his boot. Rochelle takes the mark. Lining up for his first of the day. Not a good kick. It's offline. It's out on the full. Risky kick in board. Finds James Aish. I haven't seen Nat Fife yet. Sam Sturt on the lead. 16 minutes gone. Trying to find a target forward. He can't. Lockie Neal. Multi-time best and fairest for Freo. Brodie Smith takes the mark. And a very long kick for the Crows. Has kicked many goals from outside 50 for many a year. He finally puts it through, and the Crows are in the lead by 2. It's a hot start. It's a really hot start. Trying to get it clear once again. Great tackle. I think that was O'Brien that laid the tackle that time. Pick it up. Find a target forward. Quick kick over the top by Smith. He finds Dan Curtin. Very flexible player. Dan Curtin can play all over the ground. Siren goes for quarter time. That looks good. It's a goal to the Crows. It's a 3-0 start for the Adelaide Crows. Sam Draper now off the bench. First time today. Can he get a start going for the Crows in the second term? He can't. But we get the turnover in the middle of the ground. Short kick forward. Looking for Cowshadir. Fogarty looking for the smother. We've got Brodie Smith getting around the ball early. Might be an early contender for the Norm Smith medal. How appropriate if he won it. And the fog. The Crows not showing any mercy. After last year's painful defeat, they've piled on the first 4 of the grand final. Docker's working the ball forward. Can't get it forward far enough. Loose hands in the middle. Just too many handballs. Fife picks it up. Looking for a half forward. Ends up with Jaya-miss. Pushing forward now. Lee Kalia and Frederick. Great hands in the back by Michelini. Goes wide. Finds Saligo. Kicking up the line, finds Michelini again. Cowshadir pushing up the ground. Nichols takes the mark. Ball goes to ground. Mickey Walter. Crumbs gets Freo's first. Win it out of the middle. Quick kick forward. Can't get boot to ball. It's not 50. Oh, it's not even a free kick. Great hands by Worrell at half back. Kicking down the line. Rankin and Ryan. Rankin can't take the mark. Well done by Ryan. Quick boot by Cozzy Pickett. Can't get boot to ball. Well done, Freo. Good defensive pressure. Much improved in this quarter. Going over the top. It's a poor kick, though. And Cozzy Pickett intercepts. Going down the line. Looking for Fogg. And the Fogg's got it. The Texans on the move. Windhager intercepts his own teammate's ball. Picked up in the draft last year, I believe. Looking for his first goal of the grand final. He puts it through. Back out to a 4-goal game. Draper just crushing it in the ruck right now. Doing a fantastic job. But our ball use in the middle has really gone down the toilet this quarter. And now, no mark inside forward 50 for Freo. They're doing really well right now. They are doing the exact opposite of what we're doing. And that is taking care of the footy. James Aish gets wrapped up. We've got a ball up. Brodie Smith with the strong tackle. 23 minutes gone. Probably time for one more goal in this quarter. Just depends on which team will get it. In fact, it'll be neither team as the first half is done. And it's 5-1 in favour of the Crows so far. First half is in the books. Freo led at halftime last time and won. This time we are looking to get the lead here. And I don't really know what I'm saying. It's not making a whole bunch of sense. But we get a mark at full forward anyway with the fog. I think of what I was trying to say was Freo had the lead and won the grand final last time. We have the lead at halftime this time. Things are looking pretty good here. Fogarty looking for a second. Sneaks it in. It's a 5-goal lead. Okay, Worrell. Down the line, looking for a target. There's a big fly from behind from Fife. The Texan gets wrapped up. It's advantage to Freo. Could things be starting to unravel for the Crows? We don't know. We have to wait and see. Saligo going down the line to his mate Rochelle, who takes a really good mark. Gets clobbered, actually. Let's look for the Texan. Can't find Tex. He's got it now. Quick kick forward. Hands over the top. Kaushadir gets wrapped up. Good hands by Freo to get it clear of their defensive 50. Looking for a target here. They find Jayamis once again. You go wide. Can't find anybody. We got advantage off the free kick. It goes wide. Kaushadir in pursuit of the ball. Insufficient. How is that insufficient intent? Oh my goodness me. Brodie Smith working his way up the ground, getting a ton of the ball so far. Kaushadir has a big man to deal with. We deal with it just fine. The Fog takes a mark inside forward 50 once again. Going to be lining up for his third and his second of the quarter, but although I think he may have butchered this one. We'll see how we go, and it's the first behind of the grand final for either team. Bad kick out of fullback by Freo, just didn't even hit the target on the full. Brayshaw got absolutely pile-driven into the ground by Thilthorpe. O'Brien can't win it in the ruck this time. Freo win the loose ball once again. Fife looking for a target. Ends up with Switkowski, gives it up though. Sam Sturt with the mark. And that's three-quarter time. Freo have a lot of work to do if they're going to come back from here. But a very, very good quarter of football by the Crows. Actually, it was relatively low scoring. Only one goal scored in that quarter. Final quarter of the grand final. It's a 31-point lead for the Crows. They have an opportunity to either put their foot on the pedal and really grind out a big win here, or they can just enjoy it. Let's see what they decide to do. Rankin's the target down the line. Great hands to Windhager. Where's the Texan? Can't take the mark. We got to get Tex a goal. Oh, he's getting old. He can't run around like he used to. But he takes, actually, it is Dan Worrell with the mark here. Let's go down the line. Tex is not in a position to take a mark. Fogarty gets sat on by Draper. Not the Draper you're thinking of. We've got two, but they've got one. Thilthorpe takes a nice mark. Where is Tex? Where are you, you old SOB? I can't find him. Let's just kick it down the line. Kausha takes the mark. Sneaks it through. 37-point game for the Crows. You think we're safe from here? Loose ball in the middle of the ground. If I can get a goal for Tex before the grand final is done, that is my immediate objective. Great hands by Michaelini at half-back. Let's kick it down the line. Loose ball. Gill, the youngster, does a fantastic job. Now Rankin looking to bring it to ground. Tex. No, give it to Tex. Oh, Texan, what are you doing, son? Great tackle. That's holding the ball, surely. Ah, it's a ball up. Thilthorpe trying to... Actually, no, not Thilthorpe. It's Draper. Quick kick. Ball goes backwards. We've got Rankin giving chase with Nichols. Quick tackle. Can't get a tackle to go. Michaelini, we need to get Tex a goal. Come on, Texan. He's at full forward. Big Tex. Come on, don't you go, Siren. Oh, he gets bodied. But Sid Draper gets the mark in front of goal. We may as well take it. I don't think we're going to have enough time to get Tex a goal. We could have passed it off. But honestly, I don't even think the kick would have been 15 metres. The Norm Smith medalist from last year puts the goal through for today. One more for the Texan. Can we get it done? Long ball forward. Tex. He's got it. On the siren. Possibly the last kick of his career. And to get the Crows. Well, the grand final's already done. Texas Walker puts it through. And the Crows have won the 2027 grand final by 49 points. And here we are for the presentations. Who's going to win Norm? Probably the Fog if I had to guess, because he kicked a few goals in a relatively short period of time. And it is the Fog. What a guy. He's already got the medal on. Why has he already got a medal on? Oh, because I've already done the Premiership medals probably. But he's now got 2 medals on. And what a performance this season. Matthew Nix comes out to get his Jock McHale medal. Jordan Dawson there, the skipper. He hasn't got a medal. For whatever reason, Fogarty already had his Premiership medal. I don't know what that is. But here we go. Let's raise the cup. And here we go. The Crows streaming onto the podium. The fans go absolutely nuts as the Freo players watch their three-peat go down the toilet. They have to wait for another 3 years to get their 3rd, 4th and 5th Premiership. But today, the Crows are premiers of the AFL. What a performance by the Crows in this one. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Fog kicked 2, was really solid. A lot of single digits goal kickers. Murphy Reid led the disposals for Freo. Max Michelini actually led it for us. Jordan Dawson was there. Pickett was there. Possessions-wise, in terms of intercept marks, Michelini was really good. In terms of the top stats, here they are. And the BOG, Max Michelini actually got the Norm Smith medal, not Darcy Fogarty. Fogarty was second, and Brodie Smith, who I did say was a smoky earlier on, did get 1 vote for his troubles. But our work here is done. Fan satisfaction at 100% at the moment, but we did fail it through the regular season. Unfortunately, we had to get over 90. We only ended up at 77. But what a job we have done. We'll have a quick look at the stats leaders on the league. Tex Walker led the way with the most goals in the AFL this year with 44. I think he did the same last season as well, at least at the end of the season. He didn't win the Coleman. Disposals wise, Andy Brayshaw was great. Mabior Chol had the most marks. Row bottom tackles. Hit outs was W. Green. I can't say I'm familiar with his work. Let's have a look at Brownlow medal winners. It is Melbourne's Matt Rao. That is disgusting to look at. Jordan Dawson didn't really get amongst it. 21 votes. I think he was second last season. Tex Walker goes into retirement with a Coleman medal. What a story. Josh Rochelle, 33 goals. Rory Laird, 33 goals as well. Quite funny to see. And G. Cameron. Grayson Cameron, fantastic name. He gets the Rising Star Award. And Black from Port Adelaide, who we wanted to draft, he ended up second. And we have a few different All-Australians already. Lee Kalir finishes on halfback. Fogarty, Tex Walker are the other All-Australians. No Jordan Dawson. So 3 All-Australians in a Premiership season. We are officially done with the Crows. Next edition of this will be Brisbane, as of course we are going in alphabetical order. But if you did enjoy this series and you want to see more of what I did of this series on AFL 23, I'll leave a playlist down below. But thank you very much for watching up until this point, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until then, I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys then. Bye!